there's none of them that was not approved by the National Assembly. Which then raises the question, which I'm asking you right now, has the 9th National Assembly done enough to reduce Nigeria's debt burden? I'm not aware of any one occasion where the federal government presented a loan request before the National Assembly and the federal government could not go ahead to secure that loan because the National Assembly said no, or because the Senate said no. I don't think there's ever been any such instance, at least not with the 9th Assembly anyway. So, has the National Assembly, or the Senate especially, played any significant roles in reducing Nigeria's debt burden beyond the words credited to Senate President Ahmed Lawan, who, by the way, is not returning to the Senate as he was unable to clinch his party's ticket for his senatorial district? Well, lines open. Call 0700 923 0923. That's 0700 923 0923. We're live on facebook.com/Nigeria Info PH. That's facebook.com/Nigeria Info PH. Via Twitter as well at Nigeria Info PH. Talking about this bad punch paper so published October 2020. Irish borrows 1 to leave 9 to debt for successor. So, the National Assembly has approved or at least received budget estimates worth 93.453 trillion naira from the President Buhari in 8 years. Out of the 93.453 trillion naira budgeted from 2016 to 2023, a total of 67.4 trillion naira has been committed to recurrent expenditure, including the payment of salaries and emolument to civil servants and legislators. Advanced 71% of their time devoted to the expenditure in the Buhari regime. The administration met a debt of 12.12 trillion naira on June 30, 2015, but it increased it to 42.84 trillion naira by June 30, 2022, according to statistics obtained from the Debt Management Office. The increase represents 253% growth over the period. A breakdown shows that Buhari presented a budget of 6.06 trillion naira in 2016, his first after a populist election in 2015. The budget, however, he rounded as first risen under the regime. Now, the country debt rose by 30.7 trillion naira between July 2015 and June 2022. To more. And according to data, Nigeria's total debt in 2022, it rose to 42.84 trillion naira. To reduce Nigeria's debt burden. Lines open once again. 0700 923 0923. We're live on facebook.com/Nigeria Info PH. Live on Twitter as well at Nigeria Info PH. Via Facebook, Paul goes, where is Lawan? Seen 2015 medicine after that, watching live from Kaduna. Okay. Janet Justice goes, when he's already signed the federal government borrowing plan to fund 2023 budget, this is too laughable. About to the comments in a moment, but for now I've got Ike now from Umwebule. Ike, now you're welcome. Please go on.
Bayo, thank you. To you as you roll out the borrowings of this particular administration. Bayo, it will interest you to know that talking about the National Assembly, at the beginning of this administration, we had the Senate President Ahmed Lawan say that whatever bill sent to the National Assembly by the President of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, will be passed. And I understand that the National Assembly like a check, checking what the executives do. But that seems not to be the case with this particular administration. It has been a rubber stamp National Assembly from the beginning up till now. And then looking at it seems as if we are living on borrowing. who said they're not going to borrow again before the end of this administration.
Mm.
And I've heard how much we have borrowed. I feel like shouting, but I have to hold myself with Dayo. This borrowing is one too many. And you are going to hand over to another administration that will come and Dayo, I listened to what you were rolling out, the borrowing and borrowing and borrowing.
But maybe Ahmad Lawan, maybe Ahmad Lawan is as concerned as you are right now, and that's why he's saying that they need to check this.
Yes. So there's no check and balances on the part of the National Assembly and the executive. How do we survive? This administration is almost dead. Nigeria as a country is almost dead. With all this borrowing, what does the future hold for us then? And you say the youth are leaders of tomorrow. The youth are leaders of tomorrow. The youth are leaders of tomorrow. When will the youth be the leaders of today? When will they take their destiny in their hand? When you have borrowed their future. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Still talking about borrowing, so the federal government. A story here from this day. This one published, I believe, earlier this year, possibly I think about a week ago. FG incoming administration will inherit 77 trillion naira debt. The federal government has revealed the incoming administration would inherit about 77 trillion naira debt by the time President Muhammadu Buhari's tenure ends in May next year. DG of the Debt Management Office, Ms. Patientoni, had disclosed this yesterday in Abuja while fielding questions from journalists. The National Assembly recently approved the sum of 819.5 billion naira as supplementary budget for 2022. So, it is estimated that by the time the Buhari administration leaves office, Nigeria will be indebted to the tune of about 77 trillion naira, and that is humongous, by the way. And also very important to note, all of these loans are approved by the Senate. All of these loans are approved by the National Assembly. Absolutely so. Once again, 0700 93 093. A reminder that the headlines are up by 5:30 p.m. Headlines 5:30. Major news at 6 p.m. Let's take a comment now. Why is Lawan coming up with this statement when the government that he is part of has borrowed to the end of the government? Is the legislature going to make law that will prevent the government to come after Buhari from borrowing? That's from Hector. Hello, Hard Fact, you're welcome. Please go ahead.
Josiah.
Hi, you're welcome. Go ahead, please.
Okay, so the straight answer to your question is no. The National Assembly has not done enough. And these are my reasons why I think so. In conventional economics, the understanding is that when income becomes dry, expenditure are checked. So, for example, in a family where income has become low, they check expenses. How do we cut down on expenses? How do we cut down on that? The National Assembly is one of the arm of government that should be very proactive in doing this, especially as it regards recurrent expenditure. I'm very aware that the bulk of spending with regard to recurrent expenditure for the country is allowances for those in that cadre. So if they want to do enough and prove to us that they are very serious about getting us out of debt, they should cut that cost. Not taxing the poor Nigerians on the street even more by increasing the revenue drive. What happens to them cutting down on their expenses?
No, I mean, oversight functions. The oversight function requires funds. You need funds to adequately carry out oversight functions.
For their wardrobe allowances and their sitting allowances that they don't even meet as regularly as they should meet or discuss anything that takes country forward, only there to just rubber stamp or whatever the executive brings.
No, they discuss things. Don't you ever hear when they say the eyes have it? Do you think that's easy?
Oh yeah, now I understand. The eyes are very expensive to have it. I think I get. So I think if they want to prove to Nigerians that they are serious about this, let them start from there. Then we can take them serious. Let them not tax Nigerians who are already suffering from now the hike in fuel price that's going to make food price go up, and they want to add more suffering by collecting more tax on them. Come on, who's fooling who? That's my submission, Dario.
All right, good to hear from you. Good, your question is one of the impossibilities we have in our system of governance. Ahmed Lawan is just part of the illegalities going on with the borrowing system. After all, his share will be given to him for a job well done. Property can be bought for him. Enwa sent that. This is medicine after death. Mr. Ahmed Lawan, as the leader of the National Assembly, never rejected any of the borrowing proposals by the president. Rather, it was all approved by them. So why the lamentation? That. Watch the break. Coming up shortly, the headlines at 5:30 p.m. Discussions continue right after that. Please stay with us. Hard Facts returns in a bit. to go for 6 p.m. The major news at 6. But for now, discussions continue on Nigeria's debt burden and the role the National Assembly, the Senate and National Assembly has played. This Punch story. Nigeria can't continue borrowing, Lawan says. Senate President Ahmed Lawan has revealed that the upper legislative chamber will turn the heat on various revenue-generating agencies for adequate revenue for the 2023. He noted, as there is a government lack of execution of national prayers that the move is imperative and revenue falls in the daily basis. It is not sustainable. We have to look inward and generate more money to execute landmark projects and through committees for optimal performance as far as revenue generation is concerned. So, he said, but this Assembly has always approved every loan request presented before it by the federal government. So, well, I'm asking you, once again, that begets the question, has reduced 0700 93093, that's 0700 93093. We are live on facebook.com/Nigerian for PH. You can join the conversation there. Also, live on facebook.com/Nigerian for PH. Join the conversation over there as well. Taking a few resources for living the PIE now by the Assembly to do stuff. Is both externally and government is us with tax. Internally, general was only good now. But things are good. We should pay their taxes, I suppose. Madam from earlier on, you're welcome. Please go ahead.
All budget coming from the president, even anything that comes from Buhari will be approved.
Yeah, but they say we have a revenue shortfall, and the government wants to carry out capital projects for you.
Oh, you and I know that. Is it just realizing that Nigeria should not be depending on borrowing every year? But this is what they know. And why can't they cut their own, what goes to the National Assembly? Even this year, the budget for the National Assembly, I'm told, has been doctored. I cannot say that on good authority. But to be very honest with you, this is the worst National Assembly we've ever had. So all those people that are responsible for this should not clap for themselves, but they should bury their faith in the shed.
But I might say, if the National Assembly, the Senate, for example, reduces its allocation, how will it be able to run the constituency office? How will they be able to interact with their constituents, those who call them? How will they be able to carry out oversight functions? How will they do all these things?
They haven't, over time, they have not justified what they have budgeted over time. There is no justification. It's just too much for a selected few of people only. So there is no justification for them to be increasing, and there is nothing to show. So that's the fact, and I don't think there is anybody that will call and clap for them. This particular set, they have not done well, and they should go back and reflect and say that austerity will not clap for them.
But don't you agree with the Senate President that the borrowing situation is something that should concern everyone? I mean, is he wrong by saying that?
Is he just realizing that,
Dayo? Better late than never, right?
Yeah, better late than never, but he's just paying lip service to that because it's about leaving and it's not coming back. Yes, it's not coming back. He's been trying to come back through the back door, but surprisingly, I think this time he's not going to come back.
So you believe that's why he's making his comments?
This particular National Assembly should bury their faith in church.
My team, thanks for your contribution.
All right.
Well, let's get to yours as well. We've got about 19 to go before 6 p.m. Top of the hour at 6, the major news comes up. And a review of all the matters discussed on the show today comes up after that during the open season segment till about 7. When we wrap it up, I'll take a sort of my side comments, today's rant, and the other discussions on the show as well. Sports gangrene by 7 o'clock. But still, discussions continue on Nigeria can't continue borrowing, says Ahmed Lawan. Has the Ninth National Assembly done enough to reduce Nigeria's debt burden? Or, as the last caller might have said, do you think the Senate President is simply saying this, just paying lip service, especially because he's not returning? You know, he didn't get the ticket to contest for another term in the National Assembly from his party. He's probably sad about that, I suppose, you know. So could that be the reason? Because once again, every loan request put before the Senate or the National Assembly by this government has been approved. Even one was approved late last year as well. And it's not unlikely that any other borrowing request made by this government before the expiration of this government, it's not unlikely that such requests are going to be granted as well. Via Facebook, Anna Barry Israel goes, I think it's too late for Lawan to realize this now. I say good morning to him. Yeah, but that reminds me, there's a saying that whenever a person wakes up, it's morning for that person. So, you know. Lucky from GRA High, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, Daryl.
Yeah, go on.
All right. As regards this issue on ground with the Senate President, I want to agree with you. He's actually doing lip service because...
No, I didn't say he's doing lip service. Some other caller said that, not me. So don't agree with me. You're agreeing with the caller.
I want to agree with, I want to agree with that caller.
Okay.
And have you really done to check a fast calculation about how much goes into these people on a monthly basis? The cost of governance is too high. There is nothing. A man who has dignity, who has honor, will do away with so many things that they are doing with now, especially in this time. We are complaining we don't have money, but yet they don't even want to shift their grounds. The other time they were complaining that the money they were supposed to allocate to them is getting what, and it became a problem. Do you see how much of the chunk of this budget is going to the assembly just to run things? What are we doing? Okay, they are sitting down just like you said. The eyes have it, the ears have it, as expensive as they want to make it be. What about the soldier that is in the bush? What about the military man, the police that is on the road that is getting less than 100,000? And yet they are trying to make things work. How would it work? People paying sacrifices with their life, their blood, and you give that person less than 100,000. I want to beg to doubt if any of those senators are collecting at least nothing less than 10 million naira in a month. What are we saying? He's just doing this because he's unfortunate now. He's not coming back to the house. He's trying to paint the whole picture good. They have not done anything. For me, they are a total failure. It's a disgrace. It's a disservice to the people of Nigeria. With the chunk of what they are collecting, for God's sake.
By the way, Lucky, are you suggesting that an honorable should be collecting 100,000 as well?
Let me try it and see. Military men are collecting that money with children in schools.
Lucky.
They're going to the same market that they have made a bag of rice almost half of the times 2 of a minimum wage.
Lucky, honorable.
Right over a minimum wage.
Honorable, Lucky.
Yes. Please.
You want Lucky honorable to collect 100,000?
Let us try it. The civil servants at home are collecting less than that.
Yeah, but they're not honorables, are they?
100,000. But let them drop down. Let them drop down. The money they are getting is way too much. It's way too much. It's way too much. How will one individual be collecting the money that can pay at least 100 people, 100 civil servants? It's insane.
Because he has structure. Lucky honorable has structure. Yes. that is building structure.
Oh, he has a structure.
Yeah, he has structure in his community. Structure.
Okay. That he's building. That is. I think there is a part of the budget that allocates those kind of things. I can remember just of late now, a couple of days.
No, I'm not. Pardon me, Lucky. I'm not referring to actual physical structures of buildings. I'm referring to political structure. You know.
Oh, in God's name, how does that help the populace? What structure? What does it help to build the country? How does it amount to nation building?
This structure is made up of Nigerians. Nigerians make up the nation.
Oh, we need a nation.
No, this structure is made up of Nigerians. Nigerians make up the nation.
I didn't get that.
I said this structure is made up of Nigerians. Nigerians make up the nation.
Of course, yes. But why is a section getting too much? You know, in this country as it stands now, it's barely, or it would be almost true to say that we don't have a middle class anymore. It's either you are rich up there or you are down this way. Either upstream or downstream. No middle class to cover the whole thing. And this is where the problem starts. No price control. Are they not seeing that? Can't they make laws to control price? At least to regulate things? No regulation for whatsoever reason. The fuel crisis has been going all this while and nobody is saying anything. Nobody is constituting a body to say, okay, checkmate these people. Let's know where our problems are coming from. Nobody is doing that. Everybody is focusing on how they will come back to office to come and continue. I just only pray that the obedient movement gets into power, and then the stingy nature of government, they understand it. And then some of them will willingly tell us that they don't want to serve the nation again. They would rather stay at home when there is no that money to eat. Because it is so unfair. Honestly,
Lucky?
Frankly speaking, it's a disservice.
Lucky, good to hear from you. Thanks for your contribution. We've got Henry from Eagle Island. Hi there, go ahead.
Good evening, Dario.
Yeah, go on.
I don't know if you've had to lay your hands on the recent budget that has been passed, and you check what the amount that was allocated for education sector and what is also allocated for the health sector. And we're talking about population at the time and what was allocated for the education sector. I think it's about 48 point something billion. And that of the health sector is about 43 point something, right? And this is for 2 million Nigerians. And also now check what was allocated to the present in the Ninth Assembly, about 120 something billion. For how many people against 200 million Nigerians? And so these are the issues, particularly for me. I am very personal when it comes to the person of the Senate President presently, because I had so much faith in him prior before now that he has been part of the Senate all this while, and having emerged as the Senate President that he was going to be a sound mind among those who would be at the helms of affairs. But disappointedly so, I'm most disappointed, and this is the worst we've ever had. So imagine all of this borrowing.
Just a moment, Henry. Let's go back to the figures you reeled out just a while ago. How much did you say was allocated or is allocated to education in this year's budget?
I think it's about 48 point something billion.
That is not exactly correct.
Okay.
Now, the second largest allocation in this year's budget actually has gone to the education sector, and that amounts to 1.79 trillion naira, which represents 8.2% of the federal government's budget.
Okay.
Now, I think security got the highest, not surprising. It got 2.98 trillion naira, which is 13.4% of this year's budget.
Okay. I think I need to cross-check that, but then we are also looking at all of these things put together to imagine what they are. For how many persons in the House of Assembly against 2 billion Nigerians. So when you put these figures together, you begin to see that there is serious disparity, and of course, those who have something in their mouth should not be able to shout or talk. If he's talking at this point, I'm thinking it's because he's on his way out, and it doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah. Henry, it's very likely what you saw was maybe just a sub-component of the allocation to education. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, good to hear from you, though. What about 9 minutes to go before 6 p.m., top of the hour at 6, a reminder, the major news comes up. Has the National Assembly, Senate especially, done enough or anything at all, in your estimation, worthy of note, to address or reduce Nigeria's debt burden? As right now, Senate President Ahmed Lawan says Nigeria can't continue borrowing, even though every loan request of this administration has been granted, and it is estimated that by the time the Buhari administration comes to an end, Nigeria's debt profile would have amounted to a staggering 77 trillion naira. Now that is a lot of money, really. More comments here. Let's see. That's all this while the Ninth Assembly were not looking inward. I keep hearing other African countries try their former president for some abnormalities that happened while they were in service. In my country, Nigeria, it's never happened. So I want to ask, if becoming the president in Nigeria comes with a lifetime immunity against law agencies, that until we start asking them serious questions that comes with jail terms, they won't be serious with our funds. Anwar said that. And that's an interesting question, really. You know, the possibility of a former president or head of state in Nigeria being queried or even being prosecuted, over their actions while in office, and if found guilty, even getting some jail time. I guess it might take a while for us to get there. But still, National Assembly hasn't done enough or anything even reasonable, worthy of note at all, to address our humongous debt burden. Ogo Justice on Facebook goes, Lawan is worried about the continuous borrowing, and they are the ones that jacked up the budget to 21.8 trillion naira. If he's sincere, why didn't he question Buhari how the budget should be funded before approving all the borrowing plans? Via Twitter at Ejonishi Twitter, this outgoing Senate is the right after plunging Nigeria into 77 trillion naira debt by approving every borrowing from the executive. Ahmed Lawan's advice is medicine after death. And that's a wrap on this conversation. Taking a break for some commercials shortly. Top of the hour at 6 p.m. The major news is up. And immediately after that, it will be time for open season. A recap of all the matters discussed on the show today. During which time my side comments, my rant, and the other discussions on the show today will be up for review by you, especially if you haven't had a chance to express your thoughts today via the usual platforms, the phone number to call, and or the phone line, and via WhatsApp at that time. Let's stick around. Hard Facts continues shortly.